Good evening, everyone. I call this April 28th, 2026 meeting of council to order at 5:30 p.m. This meeting will be held in a hybrid manner where members of council, staff, and the public can participate electronically. This meeting is being live streamed and recorded and will be available on the Township website. Notice is hereby provided that under the authority of the Municipal Act 2001 and in accordance with the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, that all information attained is considered part of the public record. All rules apply to the meeting as if everyone is attending in person, and if there is a problem with the technology impacting the proceedings of the meeting may be recessed. I would now ask that everyone rise for the playing of the national anthem. We acknowledge that we are being hosted on the ancestral lands of the Haudenosaunee, Mississauga, and Omama people. We acknowledge and welcome the presence of all Indigenous people, including the Métis, Inuit, and other First Nations from across this vast land, who also make this place home. The lands we're on today are recognized in the Two-Row Wampum, Dish with One Spoon Treaty, Treaty 27, and the Crawford Purchase. First item up is confirmation of the agenda. Could I have a motion? Deputy Mayor?
I move that the agenda of the 28th of April, 2026 meeting of council be confirmed as circulated.
So moved. Seconded by Councillor Ennis. All in favor? Motion is passed. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof for this evening? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to go into closed session. Deputy Mayor?
I move the council now move into closed session to consider financial information relating to the W.J. Henderson Recreation Center renewal fundraising initiatives pursuant to section 239(2)K of the Municipal Act.
So moved. Seconded by?
Your worship,
Yes.
I just wonder if I need another link to get into that meeting. I don't have it if I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
The clerk's department,
I'll resend it.
Thank you.
thanks for letting us know. Seconded by Councillor Ennis. All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, welcome back, everyone. I just want to let anyone that's in the virtual audience know, iCompass is not recording properly this evening on our website. So if you are on the website listening to watching the proceedings and you can hear me, please just go to the Township YouTube channel and you'll be able to see it there. They can hear me. And I just wanted to mention that there is one council member that isn't in chambers this evening. Councillor Broderick is online virtually and participating fully in the meeting as well. So we did start our meeting at 5:30 this evening, and we were in closed session for about 20 minutes. And just to rise and report that council received verbal information to consider financial information related to W.J. Henderson Recreation Center renewal fundraising initiatives pursuant to section 239(2) and K of the Municipal Act. So, get this pulled up. Okay, so we set aside 15 minutes of each meeting for open forum. Any individual can address council regarding an item on the agenda, excluding matters under the Statutory Public Meetings section on the same agenda. Each person has 3 minutes to speak, and anyone wishing to speak can register in advance, which we did have 2. And then I open it up to in chambers if anyone wishes to speak, and then I go to the virtual audience to be able for them to speak as well. So we did have 2 sign up, and I will ask Jennifer O'Neill, if you wish to come up, just push the button so this green light comes on, and then the virtual audience can hear you as well. Yep. Just, there you go.
Good.
You're live.
Okay. So good evening, Mayor and members of council. My name is Jennifer O'Neill and I'm the president of the Loyalist Skating Club. And I'm here tonight to respectfully object to the proposed new ice allocation policy. So I want to begin by explaining why this matters so deeply to me. I'm a lifelong resident of Loyalist Township. I was born and raised here, and I'm raising my children here. I will continue to live here for the rest of my life. This community is my home. For my family, the rink has never just been a facility. It is where I myself learned to skate, where my parents watched me from the boards. Our neighbors met year after year in the stands. Now I go to the same place and watch my own children learning to skate and obtaining their goals. The rink is not simply a place that we go to practice, it's a community space, and it connects generations of Loyalist families. And this is why the policy matters. I want to acknowledge that the staff have provided a written response today to some community feedback, and I do appreciate that, but I need to be very clear that community organizations were not consulted adequately. I do believe that the township has the best of intentions. However, intent does not replace policy clarity, and once approved, the policy, not intent, will guide outcomes. The township mission commits the township to good governance. Good governance requires meaningful consultation, transparency, impact assessments, and a willingness to adjust policy when concerns remain. There are several areas where clarity is still lacking, but I want to be very clear. The single most important unresolved issue for me is the definition and application of a community sport organization, or CSO. Although the CSO definition wording has not changed from the previous policy, how it is being used has changed significantly. Under the new ice allocation policy, CSO status along with standard of play directly determines priority access on prime time allocation. As written, the policy allows CSOs to be either Loyalist-based or regional without a clear hierarchy, which creates a real risk. In a limited high-demand ice environment, this ambiguity could allow regional organizations to compete directly with Loyalist-based community organizations for prime youth hours, even though Loyalist organizations are rooted here in the community and serve the community directly. Good intentions have been stated, but policy must do the protecting. Facilities funded by Loyalist residents should first and foremost serve Loyalist children, families, and community organizations. This matters because Loyalist-based organizations give back directly to the community, not just financially, but socially. I respectfully ask Council not to pass this policy tonight, but instead pause, consult more meaningfully, assess impacts, and provide clarity before moving forward. For those of us who have grown up here and are raising our children here, the rink represents community, continuity, and belonging, and I ask Council to protect that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Which is good. Thank you for providing us that information. The next one that signed up was Erin Armitage. Same thing, if you could just turn the mic on once you sit down, everyone can hear you. And once you're ready, then just please proceed.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Mayor Hagedorn, councillors, and township staff. I'm here to speak on behalf of Loyalist Township Minor Hockey. My name is Erin Armitage. I'm a resident, a parent of two hockey players who've played locally their entire careers, and I'm a member of the LTMHA board. I was pleased to be joined by Jen O'Neill from Figure Skating tonight as well. Together, our two organizations represent Loyalist Township's two primary youth ice users. We support the goal of fair, transparent, and consistent ice allocation process. A formal policy and defined prime youth hours are positive steps that we support. However, the current proposal raises significant concerns that should be addressed before approval. Although we did receive a written response from staff today, we feel that a few of our concerns have not yet been addressed. First, transparency. The report references 5 impacted users but does not identify them. There are only 2 community service organizations that are based out of Loyalist Township, Loyalist Township Minor Hockey and Loyalist Skating Club. In their response to our concerns, staff still have not identified who the other 3 organizations are. Our concern is that regional user groups will be given equal priority in prime youth ice allocation decisions. And if that's the case, we want to know what the data is to show participation numbers by Loyalist Township residents in those organizations. We also feel that staff should share which municipalities were consulted and how their communities are comparable to Loyalist Township. For example, comparing an ice allocation policy to Kingston would be inappropriate, whereas comparisons with small municipalities with a single ice pad would be more meaningful. Secondly, we want to talk about the impact. The proposal increases township programming during prime youth hours, yet the projected financial return is minimal. We understand that the survey and community engagement process identified more public skating as a community interest, but we question whether community members would actually feel the same if they knew that increasing public skating hours in prime youth ice time would displace current ice users. The impact of this adjustment was not addressed in the staff report or in their response to our concerns. Finally, as Jen said, we want to emphasize that Loyalist Township Minor Hockey and Loyalist Skating Club are deeply rooted organizations in the community. Our players support local initiatives like food drives, the Lions Club Holiday Toy Drive, and the Hamper Program. We host games and tournaments that bring hundreds of people to Loyalist Township every year, and we consistently support local businesses with our events, our meetings, and our team activities. With Loyalist Figure Skating, we feel that we're in a unique position of offering truly local youth programming that benefits our community in many meaningful ways. At its core, the policy has to ensure that our 2 local organizations serving hundreds of Loyalist Township families have reliable access to prime ice and the ability to grow with our community needs. Given the unanswered questions and the impact, we respectfully ask Council to defer the adoption of this policy and that staff be directed to work directly with Loyalist Township Minor Hockey and Loyalist Skating to improve transparency and resolve our unanswered questions. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for bringing that forward. We appreciate the information. So I will go in chambers first. If there's anyone in chambers that wishes to speak this evening on an item on the agenda, and please come forward to one of the mics and we can receive. Seeing none, I will go to the virtual audience. If there's anyone in the virtual audience that wishes to speak this evening on an item within the agenda, please use the raised hand feature and we can bring you into the meeting.
Mr. Mayor, we have no one in the virtual audience looking to speak.
Okay, thank you. So that concludes the open forum portion. And for the speakers and the ones that are here for this topic, it is being dealt with in the committee of the whole. You're more than welcome to stay until that's addressed if you wish. If at some point you wish to leave, then please just go ahead and leave quietly. We'll keep working while you leave. So, delegations, Boys and Girls Club of Kingston and area regarding a community grant request. If you want to just come forward to the mic and again, just push the button to turn it on and provide us with your presentation.
Thank you for hearing our request, Mayor and members of council. We know that we've come to you outside of the regular granting process, and we appreciate the understanding of how urgent this matter is to us. We had and have planned to operate summer programs out of the Amherst View Public School, where we've run a camp and then after-school programs for a number of years. Unfortunately, after we opened up our registration process, we learned that we were no longer able to access the space at the school because the school is going to be under construction this summer. So we are looking for an alternate location and have approached the town and have seen the great space at the community hall. But unfortunately, when we looked at the space and had conversations with the great team, we discovered that the cost for the hall is just over $10,000. And when we've been working out of the school, we've had no permit fee for the school. We've just had to pay for caretaking, which has totaled approximately $4,000 a year.
Is there anything you wish to add?
So, I mean, today we're looking at, can we make an appeal that we continue with the same fees that we've paid previously to the school board? Just to make sure that our programs are sustainable. We already have an agreement with the township that supports programs in Bath, Odessa, and Amherst, and we're just looking at trying to ensure the sustainability and success for this summer.
Thank you. So the grant application is just the difference between the school and what our, that's great. Thank you. I just want to be clarified. And I'm just going to mention to Councillor Broderick, if I end up looking side to side and not seeing you, please speak up. It's happened more than once.
I don't
Council?
have to worry about that.
Okay, thanks. Council, any questions or comments on this while the delegation is before us? Councillor Broderick.
Just one question. Moving from the Amherst Public School site to the hall, does that do anything to the numbers of children you can put in your programming?
It will. Last year, we focused on 80 children. This year, our plans were Fairfield for 40, Amherst Public School for 40. Having it over at the community hall, we're going to reduce it to about 45 is the plan, just so it's a successful program. However, we feel 45 served is certainly still better than the alternative to either bus or bring children into one of our programs in the city of Kingston.
Thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you for the presentation. And I look to council, there is a recommendation here to receive. And there are a couple options. If you wish to have more information, we can always ask for a staff report to come back to the next meeting. Or if we are comfortable with it and want to proceed with granting or not granting, then we can do that as well. It's council's call. Do you have a question? Go ahead.
So just if I understand the process correctly, so we're being asked to be willing to entertain an application through the process.
Yes, because of the timelines, they realized they couldn't, and I'll just try to catch me if I paraphrase wrong. They were planning on using the schools, so they budgeted for it. When they found out they couldn't use them, they secured the community center. So it was after the last intake. So they put this in, and if we wait until the next intake, it will be after the program has already started. So they won't know if they're able to have the funds to do it or not until then. So they were looking for council to entertain receiving the application and dealing with it here, if that's council's wishes. And that's where I was saying, if we want, we can refer it back to staff or do a grant or not. Oh, I mean, yes, Councillor Parks.
What's your hard deadline that you would need confirmation as to whether or not that grant would be permitted?
That's a great question. We've opened registration with, like we said, a location to be determined. And so we have anxious parents who have registered for the program, and we want to be able to inform them with enough time that they could find alternate care. So I think it's a sooner rather than later.
Just a follow-up question on that. What date would if everything fell into place and you were able to do it, what date would it be opening to the,
It's open now.
it's a,
Registrations have been open, and I'm not sure what percentage were filled, but it's been in pretty significant numbers. We have a few opportunities here. This one was because we're in between granting process, and we appreciate you even considering it. We're here to serve the community. We're not going to be, at the end of the day, not serving family and children because of $6,000, and we'll find a way to make things work. But in the spirit of our partnership and process, we felt it was best this would be the purest way in the partnership that we've been developing.
okay, thank you. Just looking to council if they have any questions or motion that they wish to put forward. Councillor Broderick?
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. I'm just trying to do some quick math in my head. And given, 45 families, and I know the process, and, we always talk about precedent and so on, but I think in a sense, we owe it to 45 families to make something work for them. And I'm lucky, I never had the issue of having to have my kid looked after during the summer. And I think I would recommend that we move ahead with this on a one-off basis and continue our great working partnership with the Boys and Girls Club.
Were you putting that into a motion?
I will put it into a motion that the delegation from the Boys and Girls Club of Kingston area be received, and that council recommend I guess I don't have the dollar value, but appropriate the appropriate money to cover the difference in expenses. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Okay.
You're ahead of us again, Councillor Broderick.
And again, council grant, I'll just do the second part for clarity. Grant the request for funding from the Boys and Girls Club of Kingston Area Incorporated to the total of $6,638 from the community grant program.
Okay, thank you. So moved. Seconded by Councillor Budrick. Comments from the mover?
Again, I think I said it, but again, in times where families are struggling, and we need to provide where we can any kind of social assistance to any groups that serve our community, and the Boys and Girls Club, do yeoman or yo person's work on that.
Yeah. Seconder? He summed it up. Other council members, any comments? Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I'll support the motion for the reasons that have been stated. No one wants to be a Scrooge, but and nothing to do with the presenters, but we won't be revisiting the community grant policy in this term of council, but for the next term of council, these kinds of situations, like it or not, are precedent setting, and so there are there are equity risks involved. So I'll say that, but obviously I'm going to support it for the reasons that have been stated.
Noted. Any other council member? If not, call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Thank you for the presentation. And items for consideration, restricted acts provisions, lame duck in 2026 municipal election. Welcome. Did you have any information, additional information to share?
Nothing to add.
Nothing. Council? I have a recommendation before us. Are there questions for clarification that are required first? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion. Council? Deputy Mayor?
Through you, your worship, I move that the report from the Clerk's Division dated April 28th, 2026, restricted acts provisions lame duck in 2026 municipal election be received, and that council adopt bylaw 2026-22, being a bylaw to delegate authority in the event that council's actions are restricted under section 275 of the Municipal Act 2001, lame duck.
So moved. Seconded by Councillor Budrick. Any comments from the mover? Seconder? Other members? Call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Thank you. Results of county tender 2026-01, County Road 2 reconstruction in Odessa. Welcome, gentlemen. Did you have any other additional information to share this evening?
Nothing further, just here for questions, your worship.
Council, we do have the report with the recommendation. Would someone like to put a motion on the floor? Councillor Ennis.
Thank you. Through the mayor, move that the report from the Engineering and Environment Division, April 28th, 2026, results of county tender 2026-01, County Road 2, reconstruction Odessa, be received. And two, that council authorize the transfer of general rate capital funds from cost center 230028, Sir John Johnson reconstruction, to cost center 240013, Odessa Main Street reconstruction, in the amount of $76,944. And three, that council authorize to reallocate $543,056 of OCIF funding originally identified for cost center 190024, Bath Main Street Windermere intersection project, to cost center 240013.
So moved. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Parks. Any comments from the mover? Seconder? Other members? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. And cost sharing agreement, AWSP stormwater design. Did you have any additional information on this one?
Just here for questions.
Okay. So council, we do have the report with the recommendation. Would someone like to make a motion?
I would move it, Mr. Mayor.
Move it as presented?
As presented, the report from the Emergency Service Department. Oh, sorry, am I in the wrong one? The one above. That the report from Engineering and Environmental Design, April 28th, 2026, cost sharing agreement for stormwater design within the Amherst West secondary plan be received, and that council authorize the mayor and chief administrative officer to enter into the cost sharing agreement pending final terms and conditions that are acceptable to staff and township legal counsel.
So moved. Seconded by Councillor Budrick. Any comments from the mover?
No, sir.
Seconder, other members? Call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Thank you. And we have a proclamation request.
Missed one.
Did I miss one? Yep, I did. Once again. I wonder when I saw you stand up. Okay, yes. Pre-budget approval for fire department tanker. Did you have anything to add this evening, Chief?
Yeah, I'll just highlight that there'll be no cost incurred
this year, no additional cost incurred this year by the township. This will be all on the 2027 capital budget. So it will save 125,000 plus in next year's budget if we can do it this spring as opposed to waiting 8 months. There's some significant price increases coming down the pipe here, and we're just trying to get ahead of it.
Perfect. Thank you. Counselor Budrick.
Just move motion forward that the report from Emergency Services Department dated April 22nd, 2026, RE budget pre-approval for the fire department tanker be received, and that council pre-approve the amount of $900,000 in the 2027 capital budget for the purchase of the fire department tanker, and that council approve the usage of $84,776.10 to be utilized from the 2026 fire department tanker capital budget for the down payment on the additional truck.
So moved. Seconded by Counselor Willis. Anything from the mover?
Just appreciate that the chief's trying to get ahead of this and save us a little money. So it's always appreciated with how tight times are these days.
Seconder, other members? Counselor Prager.
I would just add, again, echo Councillor Buderick in that, 100,000 is a good savings, and given the experiences of the last few months, the value of our emergency services cannot be measured in dollars, and move ahead with this as soon as possible.
Yes. Any other member wish to speak? Call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Thank you. Now we have the proclamation request. I look to council. What do you wish to do with this? Do you want to endorse it? To proclaim the township? Counselor Broderick, do we have it to put up on the screen from the clerk's department? Counselor, I'll just double check with Counselor Broderick, and then we do have it to put up on the screen. If you were going to make a motion, we can do that, Counselor.
I have it in front of me, but I would prefer you put it on the screen, and I would just move that the motion from the Stroke and Aphasia Month proclamation be received, and that we recommend its passing or motion, or however you want to word it.
Endorsement?
Endorsement. Thank you, Your Worship.
Not a problem. There we go. So that's the motion on the floor, and I would look for a seconder. Counselor Ennis. Mover, any comments?
No, I think it's fairly obvious with just reading through the motion.
You, seconder, other members? Call the question. All in favor? Motion is passed. Thank you for putting that on the screen. Now I would entertain a motion to move into committee of the whole. Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Counselor Ennis. All in favor? Motion is passed. We will go into committee of the whole.
Okay, I'll call committee of the whole to order at 6:37. Any declarations of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof? I just can't see Counselor Broderick. He's not
I'm
on
here.
this one. Okay, I guess I can see him there. All right.
How can you miss this pink shirt?
There we go. Items for consideration, 13.4, Ice Allocation Policy Review, and we'll start with a brief presentation from staff.
Thank you. Through, excuse me, through you, Chair. I'd just like to present the work that we've done behind this allocation policy. So we took into consideration numerous areas to make sure that we had equal transparency and efficiencies in our ice arenas, to prove the clarity and consistency as the policy directed under Council 2025-210. From there, we worked with numerous groups through various consultations. The first one was we did a survey through for all our ice users and the general public from November 18th, 2025 to December, which we received various comments, which 50 of them we took into that were directly for the ice allocation. From that, we reached out to all the ice users, including the CSOs, asking for their feedback on the current policy, what works and what doesn't work, and asked for any inputs from the policy. And then we've reached out again, only receiving some input from a few selected few of the groups, asked for future or additional feedback. Then from there, we incorporated that feedback and had a year-end ice user meeting, as well as a policy review, which we presented the majority of the suggestions moving forward to them, asked them for feedback at that time, and followed up with an email with the summary of the presentation that we provided, as again, and any of the changes to the proposed policy. And we followed up with the minutes and slides from that. So we came down that there's 4 major highlights of the for potential policy changes or enhancements to the policy. One being standards of play, and I'll go through the standards of play. The introduction of youth or primetime youth hours, equal distribution of hours. So you have equal weeknight, weekday, and weekend ice times, and the addition of a minimum standard for public programming or township programming. Currently, we sit at number 1 in the allocation policy, but there's nowhere set out in the policy for a minimum standard. So we could take any number of hours in the set policy as that's how the policy, but we'd like to see a minimum standard from that. So the standards of play, it's well known across the different municipalities that they put in standards of play to ensure that every participant gets a set amount of ice based on the governing body's numbers. And it's distributed between the number of registrants, their age, or the division that they play in, their skill development between rep or competitive skating and rep skating to house league or learn to skate programs. Again, it's brought in from the national sporting organizations to ensure safety, that you have the proper amount of ice and players on the ice. And with these, it also gives you standards to make sure that you're meeting the needs of the organizations. So they're not trying to take ice away from the organizations. We're trying to justify the hours. Right? We all hear that we need more ice for the organization. This is a way to justify those hours. So we know what we're working with, and that if we do need an additional ice pad, or if it shows that we're meeting the current demand. So it's created to provide safety for the players, that you're not overloading the ice, to provide quality program development, ensure fair and transparency. So it's set out in the policy and the standards of play, the number of hours that each player gets and or each skater gets. This aligns with various municipalities that use these standards of play, as well as Hockey Canada and Skate Canada standards. It reflects the practice currently used in various municipalities, Oakville, Kingston, Waterloo, amongst others. That the hours that we're proposing are best aligned with those. So the standards of play, it's for hockey, so house league and rep, all from the start of hockey to the age 9. For house league, it's based on 16 players, 3 lines, plus a goalie. It works 16 players. They get 1 hour of ice per week, which gives them a share of ice for practice and a game. So because there's 2 teams on the ice, so they share, and then it moves up to U13. They get an hour and a half, which they get a full hour of ice for practice and a half hour. Then when you go into competitive, it's a full hour, and this goes from the start of competitive hockey to U11. So it's we just didn't put in those numbers, and it builds up. And then you go down to skatings, and it's based on a standard to get for learn to skate. 60 skaters for can skate and the learn to skate programs for 1 hour, and competitive for every 24 skaters you get 5.25 hours. We heard a lot about youth getting pushed out of prime time hours, and that they don't have enough prime time hours, or not usable hours of ice. So we came up with youth prime time hours. So being between weekdays between 5 and 9, and weekends between 8 and 9. That's so the youth CSOs aren't playing hockey at 10 and 11 o'clock at night, or forced to play first thing in the mornings. So these go to priority township pro. This includes the township program and the CSOs. The township programming. Within the feedback from the surveys, like I said, 50 of them their comments about access to the facility. They would love to see to bring their kids skating there, have family skates, and or there is a lot of people that don't participate in the minor hockey and or figure skating programs. They would just like access to come skating as a family, or with their kids that haven't learned to skate, to go out and teach your kids how to skate. So parent and taught shinny hockey. So we're proposing to put a minimum standard of 10% of the ice of the youth prime time hours into public or township programming. This increases the hours from 2 to 5 hours. Like I said previously, that currently our current allocation states that we're the first allotment. We're not trying to take numerous hours away from anybody. We're not trying to take hours, but with the current standards of play, we'll make sure that the kids, the CSOs get those hours within those the weekly allotments in the prime time hours, including the public skating access. That's my page here. Oh, so yeah, and we heard from user groups, they wanted to equalize the weekday to weekend ice. Currently, there's very few hours available weekday. Some programs are very heavily based on the weekends. And one of the first, I came onto the job 7 months ago, and I was hit up with it. We need more weeknight ice for minor hockey. This is a way to equalize it and make it a fair and transparent for all CSOs. So, yeah, the concerns, we did reach out and on open forums and in writing from the groups. We responded to concerns in writing, but to council. We've attempted to address all these concerns in this presentation. So we recommend that this report from Community and Customer Service Department, Recreation and Facility Division dated April 28th, 2026, re-ice allocation be received, that council adopt the draft ice allocation, and that council repeal bylaw 2021-060 and adopt the facility allocation policy. Do you have any questions?
I'd just like to add,
go
if
ahead.
I may. These are the recommendations that have been provided in the report. Staff are also happy to action any direction that council provides with respect to the proposed policy, and we're here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. McFarland. Thank you. I'll turn to the committee. Councillor Broderick, see your hands, and then I'll come to you, Councillor Ennis.
Thank you. Sorry, give me a second here. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. I've read over the report, and I still think there are too many unanswered questions. I would just briefly, without going directly into the report, I want to thank Ms. O'Neill and Ms. Armitage for their input, and I would also like to thank, and I did see a number of younger people there, obviously minor hockey players and maybe some skaters, for their concern. And without going into things, Deputy, I would like to make a recommendation if that's in order.
Sure. I'll take it and then we can have a discussion about it.
Sure. I would move that the report from Community and Customer Services Department Recreation Facilities Division dated April 28, 2026, ice allocation policy be received and deferred and sent back to staff for further consultations with user groups on a one-to-one basis, and that council receive a clear outline of what community service organizations are based in Loyalist. That would be it.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll look for a seconder. Councillor Broderick. Do you want to speak to your motion first, Councillor Broderick?
Sure. I'm not going to go into the details. I think if this motion passes, that'll come down the road. I come at this with a little bit of experience, having and just telling a little story here. First time I ever came to council was around 1978 as part of a number of youth who were basically the same argument about ice time and so on. So I can appreciate the staff efforts on this. And again, I'm the one I think that asked for this review. And I think it still needs to be tightened up. As Ms. O'Neill said, once a policy is in place, it's in place. And I had asked for a few things that I thought were fairly straightforward and didn't get them. And I would just say that in one line of the policy, it says open and transparent. And this goes back to all my time in minor hockey. It's hard to find out who's got what ice when. And I don't understand that, but I'll leave it at that. I've got lots of questions, but I think this isn't the time and place, to be fair to staff, and move ahead.
Okay, seconder.
Just like my colleague said, there's a lot of things to be discussed, but I think we could just move forward and wait for a refined policy to come back.
Counselor Ennis, you had your hand up from the get-go.
Yeah, I can, I'll support the motion, and I can wait for the refinements to come back and go from there. I think, I do think this is, even this conversation and the feedback is a positive step forward. And, thanks to staff for bringing this forward and for the user groups, for coming forward. But I agree. I think some further consultation is necessary, and I look forward to that.
Other members? All right. I guess I'll go back to the mover for final comment.
Nothing at present, Deputy. I think more conversation, the better.
Very well. Then I'll call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried. With that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn Committee of the Whole. Councillor Buderick, seconded by Mr. Mayor. All those in favor? Motion is carried. We are adjourned Committee of the Whole at 6:54.
Okay, we'll reconvene the council meeting. The next item is, are there any notices of motion to be presented this evening? Being none, are there any direct motions to be presented this evening? None? We can move to the consent agenda where there's a number of items lumped together that can be addressed together or extracted to be dealt with individually. Are there any items that council wishes to extract? Being none, I would entertain the motion to take them all together. Councillor Parks.
I would recommend that all items on the consent agenda dated April 28th, 2006 be approved as presented and necessary action be taken.
So moved. Seconded by Councillor Willis. Any comments from the mover? Seconder? Other members? You're ready to vote? Okay. All in favor? Motion is passed. And any announcements this evening from Councillor Broderick?
I just have one, Your Worship. I'd like to congratulate Annie Neiman, who is a resident of Amherstview, a student at Holy Cross, who spent 2 weeks in Panama City at the Pan American Wrestling Championships, and came back to Canada, out to Grand Prairie, and to my knowledge, the first woman to ever win a national championship in wrestling for Loyalist Township.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other announcements this evening? I'm just going to share one. I was asked by the Agriculture Society to just share that the See and Learn is this Sunday, May 3rd at the fairgrounds here. And the time is, I believe it's 10 to 2. But it's a pretty good event with a lot of participants and typically animals, equipment, and everything in between. And they typically, you can have your lunch there too. That's what I plan. So with that, just one final, no other announcements, I would take a motion for the confirmatory bylaw. Deputy Mayor, yes, Deputy Mayor.
I move that bylaw 2026-25 to confirm the proceedings of the Council of Loyalist Township be enacted and passed, and that the mayor and clerk, deputy clerk be authorized to sign and seal.
So moved, seconded by Councillor Parks. All in favor? Motion is passed. And I would take a motion to adjourn. Councillor Budrick, so moved, seconded by Councillor Willis. All in favor? Motion is passed. We are adjourned at 6:58.